has reconnective healing affected your life?
Reconnective healing has affected my life in a few ways. The one I think of, the first when I think about it, is that I feel more connected to everything, like my friends and my family and my colleagues and the environment. Especially, I feel more of a sense of responsibility to everything around me, including the environment. And that's really strange for me because I've always been like um, the person who's outside of everything. I never felt connected to anything. I was sort of the lone wolf out there. And so quite a bit of healing has taken place within me since I've been in touch with reconnective healing, in order that I feel part of everything. In other ways that has changed me is that reconnective healing, because it implies that you're always in touch with this band of frequencies that brings light and information. I always seem to be getting information from energy sources as to how to run my life in a better way. So what that means is I get informed a little bit on the decisions I make, and the decisions that I do make tend to take me more towards a less divisive sort of action, and tend to be more about actions that bring me together with people, and actions that are more user friendly, you know. And also, I feel like I'm in a state of an ongoing process of evolving and growing all the time. For example, that growth means that I'm always receiving information and about change, and if I just sit back and ask the universe, I seem to get the answers for my questions that I want, and which is cool. And like, for example, a couple of years ago, I was feeling a real sense of chaos. Everything in my life seemed to be breaking down and falling apart, and I didn't know what was going on. And I thought, well, wait a minute, I'll just ask the universe here. And I was surprised. I got a very clear answer right away. And it was one word. It just said transformation. And when I thought about that, I realized that my whole life was transforming in a really, really good way, and that the conflict I was having was because I wasn't letting go of the past. And so I started to let go of things and realize that they could go because they were of older energy, and I'm involved in this new energy, these frequencies of reconnective healing. And if I want them to grow, I need to get rid of old stuff to make room for them. So I thought, okay, all right, that's good. So I felt much more at peace after that. And that process of change sort of works on many levels with me: physical and mental and spiritual and intellectual. And I find it sort of, I keep evolving and growing and changing. And that process just keeps going on and on and on. And another way I've changed a lot is that I can sort of sit back when I'm in a rough situation and say, well, this is the universe playing a game in front of me here, so I can learn something. And I don't mean to be irresponsible. I just find that when I do that, I get a much deeper lesson out of it, because I see it more clearly as to what's going on. So that lesson will be something like maybe a limiting belief, or some fears that I've had that are causing this situation in front of me to happen. And as soon as I see that, the situation sort of dissolves and rights itself. And so I learn a bigger lesson by letting this broader intelligence of the universe play out in front of me. It knows a lot more than I do. So I learn the lesson, and I find that in that lesson, I usually come into the moment, into the present, into the now. And in that moment, I feel totally at one with everything. And that happens more and more in my life. Even without the lesson, sometimes I can just feel that oneness with everything. And it's really, that is the biggest benefit I've had from reconnective healing. And for that oneness and that sense of wholeness and balance that I get from that I'm really, really grateful for that every day.
Thank you.